I never thought I would say this, but we are taking a break from power tools. Hello YouTube fam, my name's Tina and I am a DIYer. I recently just launched a small business selling my art and I share videos on home projects and DIYs every single week. I've been using power tools for almost 2 years now and I won't lie to you, I'm kind of tired of using them right now. So this week I'm challenging myself to do an IKEA hack without using any power tools. I want to take everything that I've learned and apply those skills into creating an IKEA hack without touching any big scary power tools. My goal with this channel is always to create approachable projects, and I know a lot of you guys out there are renters, don't have access to power tools, or just don't want to use power tools. So I hope this video will give you some ideas on how to tackle big projects without using big tools. I honestly don't know if everything that I want to try is going to work today, but we are going to jump right into it and make our way over to IKEA and find the perfect piece to hack. Okay, we've made it to IKEA. It is a Sunday and I try to avoid coming here on Sundays because it's so busy, but we'll see what we can find.
It's never gonna be as busy as the IKEA in LA.
That was the worst thing ever.
If we have footage, I'll put a clip of me sweating in the first 5 seconds standing in a line.
So it's been almost 40 minutes.
Help.
And we're almost there.
Help.
I think we're next. That took us like an hour in line too. That was terrible.
Hopefully this is better.
For this project, you can use any bookcase, but I was specifically looking for the Billy bookcase because it comes with different door types. I was really trying to emulate these projects that I've seen floating around on Instagram and Pinterest with an arch opening, so this was going to be the perfect base.
Ooh, I love the artistic meaning behind this.
I didn't know they had so many Billy options. Like this one's blue. Oh, brown? Is this brown? What is this? Gray bronze. Don't really like these knobs though, but these knobs are really cute. Maybe we'll grab these. I'll see. And now it's time for a segment of What's New at IKEA. I saw so many items that I haven't seen there before, so I wanted to share some of my favorites. I love seeing what they come out with because you never know what you'll find, and I'll definitely link all these items below if anything catches your eye. I thought this was a new item, but it actually is a last chance item, so if you guys are interested in this light, it's only $50 and it looks really cute. Oh my god, they have a mini version of the big one. This one's so cute. It's new and I don't know how much it is, but I will pop up the price on the screen.
Is this for bees?
What?
Is that for bees?
To catch bees. Look at this little tabletop one. It's so cute. This will be great if you don't have a pendant light, but you still want this look in your house, and it definitely makes a mood as well. Guys, these are only $5. That's such a good deal. I'm gonna grab them. Usually I just buy them on Amazon and they're pretty cheap, but I really like how shiny these are. And I also just spotted these ones, which I think is more my style, so I'm gonna grab those. And these are only $6. Ah! Can he do it?
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest guys, prepping IKEA furniture to paint is not fun at all. You have to sand, and then you have to prime, and then you have to paint, and sometimes you have to sand in between those coats. So it's just a whole process. And if you're a renter or someone who doesn't have the space to do all of that, it kind of becomes a big project to tackle. Especially if you do not have an electric sander, it definitely speeds up the process. But when it comes to something like IKEA furniture, you really don't want to take off too much of that top layer. Otherwise you can expose the particle board that's underneath. So what I do is just do a light sanding, and then I use a really good shellac base primer. The one that I'm using is the BIN one from Zinsser. A lot of DIYers swear by this, and I've used it a few times, and it works really well because it gives you a really nice sticky base for your paint to stick onto. So if you don't want to sand a lot, definitely pick up this primer. It's going to work wonders. When it comes to hand sanding, I actually really love using a drywall sander versus using those sponges because those really don't work that well. It's great for finishing off projects, but if you really want to get in there, I would definitely recommend one of these. You basically get the sheets and then attach it on top and the bottom. I just find that this is more sturdy, and it's also very comfortable to use because you have a handle. Let's try out this hack. Still some dripping on the side, but much better than getting it everywhere. We're just about ready to paint, so I'm actually going to use a roller. I know that using a sprayer is really popular when it comes to refinishing furniture pieces, but honestly, you can get a really good effect with a good roller. So I like to use foam rollers, and this one might be the best one that I've ever used. It has flocked foam on it, so if you look really closely, there are these like little fibers coming off of it, and I think that allows it to get a really smooth finish. I've had really good results with it and really nice finishes with it, so I like to use this more than a paint sprayer, to be honest. And it does say to pre-wet this, which I actually have not tried before, so I'm gonna try that today, and all we really need to do is just to soak it in a little bit of water, squeeze out a lot of that water so that it is just a little bit damp, and I think that'll give us an extra smooth finish. When choosing this paint, I actually brought some samples just to compare the paint swatches with the pull wrap as well as the handle. I ended up with Utterly Beige by Sherwin-Williams, and I just seriously cannot get enough of this taupey beige color, and this was gonna work so well with the wood tones that I plan to use. I ended up doing 2 coats of the color on top of the primer, and again, this foam roller just did the best job of getting such a smooth finish, and I did not even have to sand in between the coats. Okay, I'm taking a quick break to make some lunch, and I'm very excited because I get to show you guys the newest launch from Our Place. You guys know that I love everything they come out with, and Our Place has done it again. They somehow have made their Always Pan even better than it was before. I honestly don't know how they did it because it was already perfect, but meet the Always Pan 2.0. This is basically the pan that I use for everything, and you guys can tell that I love them because I literally have those two sitting on my stove at all times. I have spice and steam back there, and now I have sage, which totally matches with my kitchen aesthetic. It comes in so many different colors, so whatever you're looking for, they probably have it. And I truly use this for everything. It replaces 10 pieces of cookware, and now it is oven safe, so you can actually pop this into your oven and you can bake and roast with it. That is a total game changer, and basically the handle is new and improved. Just look at this color, guys. She is so stunning. I would also recommend getting their grips because they are, one, super cute, and also very functional because you can just use them and pop it into your oven. Every Always Pan comes with the spatula and then the steaming basket inside, which I love to use for dumplings. And the coating inside is actually new and improved. They have their own exclusive formula that is non-toxic. This is the Thermokine ceramic nonstick coating, which will actually last 50% longer. It's made without PTFEs, POFAs, and other potentially toxic materials that you usually find in the majority of nonstick pans. That is super important to me, and Our Place is going to be a brand that I continue to support because of everything that they do. It is so intentional. I love everything that they stand for, and everything that they make is just high quality. If you're in need of new cookware, definitely check out Our Place and the new Always Pan 2.0. You can click on the link below for all the details. Okay, moment of truth. That's really good. I have the backing piece here. They always have these foldable ones, which I feel like just don't look the nicest, and you can definitely see the seam where it folds as well. So I decided I'm going to cover it. You can definitely paint this, but I want to elevate it a little bit more, so I'm going to actually use some beadboard wallpaper. This is the one I have. It is a water activated one, and I've used it before in my entryway. This is a really good option, especially if you don't have a saw to actually cut beadboard. You can totally use this, and all you need are scissors. Full disclosure though, the texture on this is kind of like a foamy material, so it is really fragile, and what I found is that since we have it in my back entryway, it actually has gotten scratched up pretty easily. So if you do plan on using this, I would say do not use it in a high traffic area or use it for more of a decorative purpose. The biggest benefit I found with using this is that it's just so easy to move around, especially if you're putting it on a wall. You're able to just take it off and move it around if you need to. There are definitely pros and cons of using this, but I think it just depends on what you're using it for and what kind of tools that you have access to actually use something like beadboard. Instead of just spraying one part at a time, I actually did the whole entire thing, and you just want to use something to spread it around to make sure that it's nice and tacky. From there, it's pretty easy to apply because you can lift it up and move it around until it is just right. And as you're doing it, you just want to make sure that you spread everything out so that there are no air bubbles. It's the next day and this is completely dry now. The only thing is there is a little bit of a seam, so you can just cover that up with some caulk, which is what I'm gonna do. And then I'm also just gonna use scissors and cut off the excess on the sides. I let it dry overnight and then cut off the excess wallpaper with a utility knife, and this doesn't need any priming, so you could just go over it with whatever paint that you'd like. I went for the same color that I used for the bookcase so that the shelves will stand out against it. I need a battery. I feel like no IKEA hack is complete without doing something to the doors, so I have some pull wrap here. If you're new to DIY, this became super popular last year and you honestly could not find it anywhere, and now with the growing demand, I feel like it is not as hard to find it, so you can usually find it at your local hardware store or also online. I've used it many times for projects and it is so easy to work with, so you can basically just get a box cutter and just cut right into there across the backing. But if you want to cut it lengthwise, you usually have to use something like a miter saw. So I'm on a mission to find out other ways that you can cut this without having to use a power saw. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we're gonna find out. So first up, I'm trying a hand saw and a miter box. These are really inexpensive and also just very helpful to have, especially if you just need to cut some wood quickly around the house. I have a piece of pull wrap that I'm going to sacrifice for this experiment, so I hope that this works. I'm basically just gonna place it in there, and then maybe I'll use some tape to hold it in. Okay, we're gonna place it in and then just go for it. It's working. I was afraid the saw wasn't gonna be sharp enough, but it's going through it. Is it out? Okay, I think we did it. Moment of truth. Let's see how clean this is. Oh my gosh. It is perfect. Oh, it just got sawdust everywhere. I am so excited that this worked, because that means if you guys at home want to work with pull wrap but you don't have a power saw at home, this will totally work. My main concern with cutting this is that since it is rolled up, it could move around and then come out jagged. So to avoid that, make sure to follow those tips and you should get a really clean line. Another alternative to adding fluting without using pull wrap is just to use trim just like this. And to cut it, you can use miter shears. So these are basically like wood scissors. And what's nice is that you can do just a straight cut. So you could just put it right in there. And there you have a straight cut. Or if you want to, you could also do a 45-degree angle miter cut. So it has this guide right here. And you can squeeze it. And then you have perfect 45-degree angles. So this is a really good option, but I did also want to try this on the pull wrap. and see if it works. I honestly have no idea if it will, but let's give it a try. I don't think this is a success because it's not going through the back. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is not a successful way to cut pull wrap. Can you guys see that? It definitely did cut, but it's just so hard to do because there's so much excess pull wrap. I really thought that this might have worked, but I would definitely suggest using a miter box versus using the miter shears. But if you're planning to use smaller pieces of trim to create some fluting, this is definitely the way to go. Before I actually cut this, I actually needed to test this out really quick because my friend Katie, aka Katie Bookster here on YouTube, she said she saw someone cut pull wrap with scissors. So I wanted to see if that actually works because I feel like the wood on here is pretty thick and there's like no way that scissors would work. Oh my God. You guys, what? Kind of surprised that this is working as well as it is. Like, I am shook. This works way better than even the miter shears. What? I am a believer now. We have a perfect fit. Usually when I work with pull wrap, I use my brad nailer, but of course we're not touching any of those tools over there. So instead we're gonna use a very heavy duty glue. You can use something like liquid nails and you'll have to get a caulk gun for this, or you could also just use some construction adhesive. This is a really heavy duty one that I really like to use as well. Both of these work to bond a lot of different materials, so you could just choose whichever one works for you. And once we get it on there, we just wanna weigh it down and let it dry overnight. It is the next day now. The pull wrap turned out really well, but I'm not going to show you it yet because I want to work on the top half of this. Something that I really love to do with IKEA hacks is changing the shape of it. So I definitely want to create an illusion of an arch over here. In the past, I've used my jigsaw to cut MDF, but I wanted to show you guys an alternative. If I haven't mentioned this already, peel and stick is going to be your best friend, and I have a peel and stick contact paper, I think this is. And this is great because it's gonna be so easy to cut and you'll be able to paint over it and also remove it really easily if you ever need to in the future. So first, I'm actually just gonna paint this whole thing and then we will cut it out afterwards. Okay, so I thought this wallpaper was paintable, but when I did a test piece of paint, it was not adhering very well at all, so I ended up priming it first and then painting it with 2 coats. I will still have this link down below for you guys, but I'm going to find a better paintable alternative because paintable wallpaper honestly is a game changer. Now it's time to create the arch, so I'm going to create a template first just so that I don't mess up the real thing and have to do it all over again. I'm gonna start by using a compass to map out the arch, and usually I use a piece of string, but this time I wanted to try out wire. I find with the string you're able to just move it around too much and sometimes you don't get the best arch, so this really gave me a more steady line. It honestly worked out really well, so I would totally recommend using a wire instead of string, and that way your pencil doesn't move around. Look at our arch, you guys! Now it is time to actually put it on the doors. You might have noticed that I did not do any of these inner shelves, and that is because I'm a little bit lazy, so I'm not going to paint these. Instead, I'm going to use some peel and stick contact paper, and I love this wood grain look. I think it's gonna look really nice with the new paint color, and also it just saves us a bunch of steps from prepping and sanding and painting. So if you do not want to do any of those things, definitely try out other peel and stick options, because this is a great way to totally transform a piece of furniture without having to do a lot of work. Let's build this thing. Making a disclaimer that I'm gonna use my drill because I think most people have one. This is the one power tool I think that we all should have and need. Putting this all together made me feel so excited that I was able to do the entire project without any power tools. This challenge was a good reminder that with a little imagination and thinking out the box, you can really get resourceful and make your DIY come to life. This is so much easier to do when Brian's here to help me. And I really hope this encourages you to DIY a big project, even if that means using unconventional items to make it happen. Look who decided to join me!
Back from New York.
He left me alone for a few days while I worked on this all by myself.
Back to holding stuff.
It's not moving.
Perfect.
Okay.
I still can't believe you made this. I still can't believe it. I've seen everything. I can't.
Wow, what the heck? This is IKEA. I love that with these doors, you can have a beautiful styling moment up top and then hide away the not so pretty things on the bottom. With all the changes we've made to it, it just looks so luxe and not at all like an IKEA piece. So without further ado, here is the final reveal. How do you guys think I did? You cannot tell me that this looks like an IKEA bookcase. I'm super proud that I was able to make it happen because, to be honest, I was not quite sure if everything I was going to try out today would work, especially because I did this without power tools, but we did it and I just could not be more proud. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope this gave you some inspiration on how you can hack any piece even without power tools. You just have to get a little bit crafty, but the results can be amazing. If you like this project and recreate it, don't forget to tag me over on Instagram so I can see it and like it. I'll post some of your recreations right here on the screen. Thank you again to Our Place for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to click on my link below so you guys can check out the new Always Pan 2.0. I just love it so much and I know you guys will too. And that's it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay inspired and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!